what posters did you have in your room when you were young? Baywatch. Did you guys have Baywatch in Kazakhstan?
I actually don't think we had any posters. What we did have on our wall is we had a carpet. It's really funny. So we had a carpet, a full wall of carpet. And all we had on that carpet were the medals that my brother won at swimming.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 19 of the Showroom. I'm here with my man, Val Trussov. Thanks for being on here with us and today and sharing your story. Val has an awesome story, and that's why I really was excited to have you come on. If I were to describe you, the number one word I would use is driven. And you're one of the most hardworking people I've ever met in my life. Constantly working, constantly trying to get better, and just the pace that you walk around even the store, you can just see that energy and feel it. So I love being around you, and that's why I'm excited to dive into your background and kind of what makes you tick. So
sure,
appreciate you, man.
Sure.
So let's do it. Let's just start where you were born, where you grew up, and what brought you here to Iowa.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here and have an opportunity to share my story. I grew up in a country called Kazakhstan. It is 2 hours away from Russian border, 2 hours away from Chinese border, and 4 hours from Mongolian border. And I grew up in a small Russian town, even though that was in Kazakhstan. And at the age of 16, I had an opportunity to move to America. My brother was a naturally talented swimmer, and he swam all of his life, and he moved back to America in 2012. And he was actually number one recruit when he moved. And he was able to become a coach at the University of Iowa. And he said, Val, you got to start swimming. He said, do you want to come to America? And I'm a yes type person. I say yes, and I figure it out. And I said, sure, absolutely. We're going to get it done. And he was able to get me down here to come when I was 16 years old. I started swimming professionally when I was 13, and I was able to excel really quickly just because I am highly obsessive personality type person, and I will just do one thing till I win. That's all that matters to me. Yeah. I'm going to win. And that's what we did with swimming. I came here and I swam in high school for a couple of years, and then I went to community college, and I actually ended up taking a redshirt year. And that's how I joined this company, because I decided to see what's out there in the workforce.
And when you were in high school, where'd you go?
So my senior year, I went to Iowa City West.
Iowa City West.
And the year before that, I actually didn't know enough English, so I didn't pass my test to go to a public school. So I had to go to a private school, which is a Scattergood Friends School. Total school was of 25 kids. They're highly religious here in West Branch, West Branch, Iowa. Yep. It was an amazing experience. I was very much so opened up to a culture. It was a cultural shock because there was a lot of different people here that I wasn't expecting.
25 total.
25 total
grades.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great experience.
So walk through what it was like growing up in Kazakhstan. Talk about that.
So as a kid, I did a lot of different sports, and I always participated in as many things as possible. From the age of 4, I was a chess player, and my parents and everybody around us actually thought that I was going to be the next Garry Kasparov, world champion.
Yeah.
They were truly believed it. And I just couldn't do it. I just didn't like chess that much. So I did it professionally for 10 years. And then I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And that's when I started swimming. For the most part, my childhood was I wake up at 5 a.m. I go to practice. I walk to practice. It's about a 3-mile walk. I would have my backpack with all of my books for school, as well as all of my swimming equipment. I go to practice. I walk there about 5 miles. And then I walk to school after practice. So 5 to 8, I swim. 8 to 4, I study. 4 o'clock, I go back to the pool. The practice starts at 6. I get there about 5 o'clock, and from 5 to 6, I practice by myself. And then 6 to 9, I practice with a team. Then I go home. I'm home at 11. I go to sleep. I go back to the next day. That's what I do.
This is how old when you're, this is 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That is what I did.
What stroke? Or strokes? You probably did a lot of them, but.
Yeah, so I mainly swim butterfly and freestyle, so I was a sprinter. As my coach would describe me, I was a terrible swimmer and an amazing athlete, because I could have gone to any sport and just be good at it because I was a really good athlete, but I was a really bad swimmer, because swimming is a acquired skill. And you have to do it for so many years before you can actually understand how the water moves through your body.
Yeah.
And I just didn't do it long enough to understand.
Tell me about the differences, what you see being in the U.S. as long as you have now versus Kazakhstan on a daily basis. What are the kind of the big differences you think of?
I would say number one is food. Food back home is a lot better.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot more natural. And for that reason, it tastes so much better. It's like if you go here to the farmer's market and that's the only place you go to shop, you're going to have similar quality of food. right? But if you go to Walmart, Target, any of those public grocery stores, you're not going to get near as good a quality of food. And the second thing would be probably people. Whenever I talk to people about how it is back home, it's really hard to explain because Russian people are not very welcoming to a stranger.
Sure.
But if you are coming to their household as a friend, they will be the most welcoming people you ever met.
Okay.
And they're going to be super transparent with what they think, because if I say something, per se, without you being present, I will be able to tell you the same thing when you were with me.
There's no talking behind people's back. It's just...
Yep. I think that it's better done that way, because if you can share your emotions and your opinions and you actually have an educated opinion, then maybe everybody can grow, right? That's kind of the goal.
So you said it's basically part of Russia, even though it's Kazakhstan. Explain that.
So Kazakhstan as a country started existing in 1991 when USSR fell apart.
Yep.
And the city that I was born in and grew up in was gifted to Kazakhstan as a part of USSR falling apart.
Okay.
It was built on the border between Kazakh department, whatever you want to call it, back before they combined into USSR. And it was a truly Russian town. And my mother is Russian, my father is Russian, right? So my whole entire generation is Russian. So
gotcha.
Nationality, I am Kazakh, but my nation, I am Russian.
Now, fast forward to now and what's going on over in Russia. Tell me about a family that you have still back there. Who's here in the States with you?
Sure.
And what has changed since basically the war?
So my brother was the first one to come here back in 2012 to swim for the University of Iowa and then bring me here. And our parents actually just got here about a year ago as well. I don't have any immediate family back home. I have my couple of grandmothers, my aunt, my uncle, me, my brother, and my parents are all here. And we're really blessed to be here because I truly believe that America is the best country on the planet right now.
I should have also mentioned Val's new car sales manager for us at the GM campus, wears a ton of hats, does so much. Your dad is now working with us in inventory management and doing a really, really, really good job. Working on English still. You guys are working really hard on that, but it's no surprise why you have the work ethic you do, because you can just see it in him. I mean, he's just constantly going. What a great guy. So that is really cool to have him here. What's your mom doing?
She's an accountant. She files taxes. And she is constantly learning. If you think that me and my dad have work ethics, you got to meet her, because it's absurd. She never stops.
Yeah.
Ever. It's like, how can one person learn so much?
Yeah.
It's like she's constantly learning English. She's constantly doing interview questions because she's trying to find a full-time position where she's going to be able to benefit the company that she's going to work for, as well as learn the skills needed.
In Kazakhstan, in the city you grew up in, what is it like right now with the current war going on?
Kazakhstan is not really that affected, which is really nice. There's a lot of financial troubles, just like anywhere in the world, because any sort of war has disruptions to products being imported into the countries. Yeah. And that is driving the prices up. And I mean, the prices before the fact were also high, but now they're even higher. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that I still know back home, it's like me and you here in America have an opportunity to strive and get better, where they only have an opportunity to survive, which is really unfortunate.
Wow, that's fascinating. So they're not in any war zone, the city that you're in. And how far away? I mean, how far away would be the nearest kind of war zone from your old city?
I would say probably about 1,200 miles, 12 to 1,500 miles. So it's quite a way.
Quite a ways away. Mm-hmm. So you go swim at, what junior college were you at?
Iowa Lakes Community College is where I went.
How many years did you swim in college then?
So I swam 2.
2 years at Iowa Lakes.
It was really funny because I went to Iowa Lakes Community College because my senior year I got injured and I lost my full ride scholarship was Michigan State. I injured both of my shoulders right before the state. And they found out about it and they were like, yeah, we're not taking you. You got to go to a community college for a year and then we're going to transfer you over because we can't take that risk. And I was like, sure, absolutely, no problem. So I had basically every door open. I could go to any community college. And Iowa Lakes Community College had one of the best programs, in my opinion, at the time. I got to the swimming team, and our coach quit 3 weeks later.
Really?
It was really sad. And he quit, and the coach that we got instead actually wasn't as good. He was a newer.
Okay.
It's not really his fault. It's just lack of experience. And a lot of that killed my want to continue swimming. Because I had opportunities to go on with my 4-year degree. I just chose not to.
Then you started selling for us at Kia, right? Was that, what year was that?
That was 2021.
So you're looking around looking for a job, and what made you say, I'm going to go looking working McGrath or looking at and getting the car business?
So I had several different options on the table. I could go and be a software quality engineer and just basically make sure that all of the software is operating correctly. And they offered me X amount of dollars that was higher than the guarantee here. But at the same time, I knew that one of the most important skills in life is a skill of selling.
Yeah.
Because everything you do is you're just selling. Whether you're selling your ideas, you're selling yourself, everything that you do in life is sales. And that is the one thing I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And I actually met with Eric Harp, and Eric Harp wanted me to go to finance right away. He didn't want me to go to sales.
Yeah.
But I met Raymond Liu, who was the director at Kia at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to work for this guy. This guy is going to teach me stuff.
Awesome. And you've done a great job. So what's been the kind of the most surprising, we'll stick with that, surprising thing about getting in the auto industry? You have probably a preconceived notion. What has been surprising about your going on 4 or 5 years here now?
How simple and complex it can be at times, because the selling vehicles as itself is not very complicated, and being able to make a relationship with a customer is something that is pretty natural to me. And I love people, right?
Yeah.
I will go out and I'll talk to anybody. I'll make a connection and I'll be able to listen to them. But there's so many things, or the admin side of things, that are complicated that make things more difficult per se. And it's really interesting how easy it is, but how complex it can be at the same time. A lot of it is a customer experience, right? Because we want to ensure that the customers have the best possible experience, but we also have to make sure that we're fair to everybody.
Yeah.
So we have a customer that takes the vehicle, buys the vehicle, pays for the vehicle in full, drives it home, parks it in the garage, but the vehicle doesn't fit, right? And it's like, what do you do in that type of situation?
Yeah.
And you got to do the right thing, and you got to take care of the customer. You got to do the back out paperwork. So it's like, it's really easy to sell the vehicle, but then you also got to make sure that the customer is satisfied, and you also got to make sure that the customer comes back, and the customer is going to tell their family about it and their friends about it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think of this business short term. They think of like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what it's going to pay. Where I think of it in like a decade, right? Yeah. What is going to happen with our department in a decade?
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's where it's really, really important to do those simple things correctly.
Yep.
And make sure that when complex things arise, you actually don't ignore them.
Great point. Where do you see the business going? I mean, you think about it a lot. And speaking of the next 10 years, I mean, how do you think it's going to change?
I think that the best customer service dealerships are going to win, because I do truly believe that a lot of car dealerships are going to go away over time. Probably not in the next decade, but in the next probably 3, 4, 5 decades, just like we've seen with Buick and Cadillac dealerships going away. I think that is very likely going to happen. And the dealerships, like ourselves, I truly believe that we have the foot in the door to be able to grow and become even bigger. Because Warren Buffett always said that during the recession time, that's when most of the millionaires are being made, because they see an opportunity rather than people being scared, right? Yep. So the same thing with us, and that's why I really like this company, because we see the challenges and we don't run away from them. We tackle them head on, and we just grow out stronger.
Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. That's a Warren Buffett thing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like right now, it's a kind of, it's a unique time with the tariff conversation. Interesting to look at is go, okay, as an organization, okay, let's just talk about GM, our GM campus you're at. We have probably, call it 400 vehicles that are tariff-free. Mm-hmm. Right now have no tariffs because they're already over customs, right? They're not going to crawl back tariffs. It's when they cross that line. Mm-hmm. So there's 400 tariff-free vehicles that customers can take advantage of a potential discount if the tariffs do go into place, right? So it's changing that, I have this obstacle versus what lens are you looking at it? Mm-hmm. You know, the used car market is going to be strong. Mm-hmm. Our customers are going to be able to get great used car values. I would say over the next 60 to 90 days, especially, because as tariffs go into place, prices on new go up. It's just naturally going to bring those used car prices up. That's what's fun about our business is it's just every day is dynamic. It's changing. There's a new challenge. You know, it was the UAW strike. Then it was COVID. Same year, we had the hailstorm that crushed about 2,000 of our vehicles. And then the COVID chip shortage thing carried on for a while. Then another strike. Now we're sitting here looking at tariffs. So it's just such a fun, what lens are you looking at it? Are you looking at the negative or your positive? I tell our baseball team, like you got 2 dogs on your shoulders. One dog is the negative dog, telling you all the negative things are going to happen. The other dog is the positive dog, looking at all the optimism of what's possible. Which dog's going to win? It's the dog that you feed. That's the dog that's going to win, guys. So that's why having people like you just continue to carry that message, take care of customers, no matter what is happening outside of our walls. We're going to focus on what we can control and see what the opportunity is. So what's kind of some of the things you've learned? You talked about you wanted to get in the car business, learn how to be really good at sales. What are some of the big takeaways so far in your career in the automotive space? What are some big takeaways that you feel like I have really learned and grown a lot because of this or that person or XYZ?
I would say that the person who taught me how to sell the most was Eric Arp. He's our ethos representative, and he does a phenomenal job of explaining, first of all, active listening, right? Because it's like when you're trying to sell anybody anything, you first need to understand where they're coming from.
Yep.
If the customer feels understood and heard, a lot of the time you're going to be able to compromise with them to find a fair solution for both parties. That is the most important thing in any negotiation.
Yep.
Because if you were just thinking about your point and what you're going to say next, you already lost.
100%.
What I really like about my current position and the opportunity I have at Used Car is the fact that I have an opportunity to run a multi-million-dollar business with zero liability. What I mean by that is ultimately the most I can lose is my job. But on the upside, I can make my department the most successful department in the state of Iowa. And that's my goal, because I look at it as a business owner where I treat my bosses as my government and then our finance team as IRS, right? Because really, if you think about it, it's not any different. We are running our own business with your guys' courtesy because you believe in the fact that we are able to steer the ship in the right direction. And all you can do is do your best and actually treat it as your own. And that's what I try to do every single day. I come in and I ask myself, what is the right thing to do? And as long as I do the right thing at every given opportunity, that's all I can do. And it's fascinating because now I'm learning a skill of management, how to hire people, how to train people, how to get people to be better, right? Because it's like if you have 12 of me in the department, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We will never
stop.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the ultimate goal. How do I get people's thinking up?
What are you doing for fun right now, man? I mean, outside of work, I know your motor never shuts off, but what are you doing for fun right now?
I don't really do anything for fun. That is my honest question.
Aren't you playing soccer?
No, so I actually haven't played soccer in quite some time because my goal right now in my 20s is to work every single awake hour of the day, right? I want to work as much as possible. So when I get to the age of 30, 33, 35, I actually have enough knowledge where I don't have to put in those hours. Because as you get older, you have less energy. Right now, I have the energy, but I don't have the knowledge. So I can use the energy to buy myself knowledge, right? So it's like when I'm going to have less energy, I'm going to have more knowledge. I'm not going to need to work as much. What I've been recently doing for the last probably 4 to 5 months is I work 60, 70, 80 hours of work, and then I play between 30 and 40 hours of poker as a part-time job. I do it because I really enjoy it. It's very similar to chess, in my opinion, and I was extremely talented in chess, and if I can transfer that skill over to something that I can materialize on, I might as well.
Where do you play?
So I play online. I play online 5 days a week, and I play in person at our Riverside Casino twice a week. So I've been doing that consistently for the last 4 months.
You got like just cash games? Are you playing tournaments, both?
I just played a really big tournament this previous weekend that unfortunately didn't go the way that I was hoping it would go, such as a game of poker. It's kind of very similar to what we just talked about, right?
Yep.
You don't choose the hand that you're dealt. You just have to play it to the best of your ability.
Yep.
Same with tariffs, same with COVID, right? Everything that happens in life, you just have to see what you got and make the best decisions from there.
We used to go down and play when I was in college and didn't have any money. We'd go play limit hold'em, not no limit, limit hold'em. It was like 3-6 blinds with the pot as your limit you could bet. And it was such a dumb game because everybody just keeps in the game, so it just ends up being a luck game.
Sure.
Versus skill and bluff. And because there is no bluffing. I mean, everybody's just, yeah, fine, I'll play. I never got into like high stakes, although I love playing poker. We would do some cash games from time to time just at our house or at my buddy Mitch's house. We play splash and just mix up the games, high, low. But what's your general approach? Are you a stats guy? Like, do you know all the odds? Mm-hmm. I figured if you're playing chess, you're probably thinking through that same thing. Did you read books like how to calculate that? Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you process that in your mind? Are you thinking about those percentages when you're making bets? And tell me about how you think about that.
Sure. So there's game theory optimal, and that's basically what you rely on. Most mistakes in poker happen pre-flop, meaning before the 3 community cards are being dealt. If you can avoid those mistakes, you're going to avoid 90% of mistakes. So hand selection that you are going to play, in my opinion, is the most important thing. And then as you get better at poker, what you realize is that what I have in my hand doesn't really matter, because if I know what you have, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's going to take for you to fold. I know what it's going to take for you to call, right? And I can adjust from there. So as you play more and more with people, and I do truly believe poker was beneficial to my sales career, is because you start to understand the way people think and the way people analyze risk and what people do and how people react in different situations. And it also helps you with emotional maturity, right? Because it's like you can have the best possible hand and you still may lose a certain percentage of the time.
Yeah. So how do you do that online?
Online is a little bit different. Online is mostly statistical, but also as you play with people, their bet sizing is going to determine what they have a lot of the time.
Sure.
When you start playing against really good people, like the tournament that I played against 7 professional poker players.
Really?
It was absurd. The guy 2 seats to the right of me placed second at WSOP mini main event. Was 8,000 people playing. Yeah, I mean, he was just like phenomenal poker player.
Oh, is that right?
So online, it is mostly statistical, where in person, you're actually playing against other people.
So how long have you played? I know you said you've been kind of doing it more in the last 4 to 5 months, but how long have you actually played poker?
I started studying a year and 6 months ago, and I bought a course from a poker coach, and I just studied that course, and then I started watching how people play, and it's all pattern recognition, and that's why I was really good at chess, because it's all pattern recognition. You start seeing certain patterns in certain situations, and as long as you can make less mistakes than your opponents, you're going to win.
Have you seen The Queen's Gambit on Netflix? It's phenomenal. It's a fiction series, but it's about chess. It's outstanding. How about Rounders?
I have seen Rounders. Yeah,
Rounders is one of my, if that movie's on, shout out my boy Rob Bruggeman. Me and him used to watch that movie all the time in college. Great movie. I saw that the other day and watched a little bit of it. If it's on, it's like one of those things you have to watch it. There's a fun thing we do where we take these slips of paper. They have some predetermined questions on them. So I'll start.
Sure.
And then you're going to do it back to me.
Right on.
Okay, so this is good. What's the biggest change you have seen in the automotive industry? We're talking 4.5 years, but still, there's been a lot of change. So what's the biggest change you have seen?
It's really interesting because when I joined the business, I remember the interview like it was yesterday because I was sitting with Raymond, I was talking to him, and I asked him, how many cars do you have on the lot? And he goes, 6, right? And in my mind, I just kind of ignored it. I was like, he meant 60, right? So the first day that I started the job, I'm like, where's all the cars are at? And he goes, I told you, we have 6 and we sold 3 of them yesterday. And I'm like, what do you mean, right? There's 3 cars, 3 brand new cars on the lot for 4 months in a row, right? That's how I started out in the business. And now you look at our lot, we have like 300 plus cars.
Yeah.
So the market has changed 180 degrees twice on us. I mean, during COVID time, everything was, prices were really high, the interest rates were really low. Now the prices were really low. You know, the interest rates are high. Yeah. And now we're coming to that middle where the market is hopefully going to stabilize with the tariffs coming out and everything is going to, at least hopefully for some period of time, is going to be stable before it changes again. Right. And that's one of those things about the car business. No single day is the same as the other.
Yep.
Something new every day. And it's, I think it's fun.
I think it's fun. Dynamic.
What's your rationality, specific dream job that isn't this one?
You know, there was about 5% of me after I played college football, I was the coach college football. I would want to do it at the Division I level, NFL level, and that means a lot of volatility. So I was like, I really want to be at home and I want to go work in the family business and raise my family in Eastern Iowa. Because what Coach Ferentz has at Iowa is very unique, you know, being there for 25 plus years with a lot of the same staff. So I wouldn't want to bop around, but coaching college football would be my dream job. And I'm fortunate I'm going to be volunteering at Kennedy High School this fall.
Sure.
Helping out with linebackers. So getting at least a flavor of it and being involved would be fun. But my dream job would be, I'd say, coach college football. What posters did you have in your room when you were young? That's a really good one, Zach. Proud of you on that one, bud. Unless that was Brad. Shout out, Brad. Baywatch. Did you guys have Baywatch in Kazakhstan?
I actually don't think we had any posters. What we did have on our wall is we had a carpet. It's really funny. So we had a carpet, a full wall of carpet. And all we had on that carpet were the medals that my brother won at swimming. They just had medals everywhere. And then there were my chess medals, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of the chess medals that I had was nothing compared to the amount of the swimming medals he had. That's the only thing we really had on the wall. We didn't have any posters. We didn't have any money.
Just medals. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
that's right answer.
What's your favorite time of the day and why?
Morning. Yeah, love getting the workout in, hanging out with the kids while they eat breakfast, trying breakfast with them. Jerry Seinfeld had a line that as parents, we always talk about quality time. But Jerry says, give me the garbage time. Give me the garbage time with my kids. The drive from home to school. just sitting around and talking at the breakfast table, winding down before bedtime. Like those times I value a lot. And so that morning time, and I would say bedtime as well with them, putting them to bed and having we do a 3 wins. What were the 3 wins for the day? And so each one of them, at 101, I'll ask them what the 3 wins were, and just to end with a positive thought in their mind before they go to bed. So that garbage time with the kids, I love it. All right. Name the top 3 apps you use daily.
YouTube is going to be number 1. Messages is going to be number 2, and probably phone is going to be number 3. I watch a ton of YouTube. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
That's what I do most of the time when I'm driving. I am, again, trying to maximize my time.
Yeah.
Right. That's really, really important to me. It's kind of fun to see how much time I actually spend on messages, because like my entire day at work, I'm playing ping pong, text messages with customers, with salespeople, right?
Yeah.
It was everybody. And I spend probably, 20 hours a week on my phone, just texting people, calling people. It's absurd. But
what podcast are you dialed in on right now?
I really like the podcast with Alex Hermosi.
Who's that?
Alex Hermosi. So he invests in businesses. He has acquisitions.com. He buys businesses, helps to grow them, and then they help him sell the business.
Okay.
And they choose the businesses to invest in. And his whole idea is he's going to educate people about the business. And that is how he's going to get people into the door to his business, right? If he can help you grow from $1 million business to $5 million business, what are the chances you're going to go to him and say, hey, can you help me scale to $20 million, right?
Gotcha.
Very high, right? And he does it really well, in my opinion. I mean, he explains how the business works, how every essential part of the business operates with each other, right? Getting the customers, keeping the customers, maintaining their relationships, maximizing the profits, all of that stuff. I mean, it's fascinating.
Very cool.
Yeah, really is. Weirdest thing you've done for TV or social media as a salesperson?
I spoiled this one I think Brad and I talked about this one. JDRF fundraiser, what was the Snow Angel Challenge, whatever. It was like -5 degrees outside, right out here, outside of Used. And I went in my shorts only and jumped into the snow and did a Snow Angel. Shout out to Ashley Spencer when she was here. We used to do a lot of fun social media clips. I remember one specifically when this was still the Jungie property, but we had bought it. And so we were doing construction. One of the jokes, I used to do the segments called Bad Dad Jokes.
By the way, I have seen the video of you doing the Snow Angel. That was awesome.
Yeah. How does Harry Potter get down a hill? He goes down the hill by walking. J.K. Rowling. And then I was rolling down a hill. So I remember that specific stupid ass joke that I did rolling down the hill. I was like rolling. But anyway, we used to do fun stuff like that. So
we need to bring that back.
Yeah, I know. How about one more? What's one thing you wish everyone knew when they walked into a dealership to buy a car?
That we were there to help them. Yes, I really wish that everybody truly believed and knew that we're there to help them. There's a lot of really bad dealerships and really bad people out there in general in the world that create a really bad stigma about the car dealerships. But it's like when somebody comes in through the front door to see me or to see any of my salespeople, my only goal is to help them.
Yep.
That's my only goal, is to help them. Sometimes we can do what they want to do, but at least we can point them in the right direction. Every single time when I'm on the third pencil and I'm like miles away from a car deal, I will go out there, they're ready to leave, and I'll just ask them. I'm like, guys, I've been doing this for quite some time. I'm going to be able to help you, at least point you in the right direction. What were you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of the time, because I have built that rapport and I listen to people, they will share it with me and I'll tell them like, well, this is what you need to look at. It's not my only job to sell cars. My job is to take care of people. Because if I take care of people, they will come and buy with us. That's that simple. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Jack's Pizza, like Brad Mackey? No, I'm joking. There are 2 meals that come to my head. One is chicken chatelaine, which is my mom's staple that she used to make. It's kind of one of those like nostalgic thing. I love a good steak. My wife and I love going to great steakhouses, picking out the best steak that they have, the best sides, the family style, garlic mashed, asparagus, some mac and cheese, and get wined and dined. We love it. So that'd probably be it.
Sure.
Good quality steak.
Right on.
What about you? Same question to you.
I would probably take steak as well. Actually, yeah, steak is really good. Fish or steak. Actually, if it's only one meal, I'd probably take potatoes because you can make potatoes in so many different ways.
Oh, sure.
And as kids, we would eat potatoes all the time because they're so cheap and inexpensive. And you can boil them, you can fry them, you can mash them. I mean, it's just such a versatile product.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a lot of fun, man. Is there anything else before we wrap that you'd want people to know about you?
I hope that everybody out there is going to be willing to go after their true potential and try their best to become the best version of themselves. And if anybody ever needs help, I'm here to help in any way that I can. And hopefully we're all going to meet at the top.
Awesome. Appreciate your time, man. Great job. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.